Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I am Brad Rohr. I am joined by
Ray Harrington.
And
No, you idiot. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing for you.
This was the 11th take we did, and the best one.
We're going to leave it because we're exhausted.
Yeah, I can't do it. Just keep going.
And
just keep rolling.
Chuck Staten is with
Yeah,
us.
that's my name. That's true.
The first take, you threw up.
Yeah, I know. I know. Right into this pocket.
Yeah, and we had to clean it all up. It was, it was
a lot.
awful.
Yeah.
I remember Brad sopping it up, and he was going, "What did you eat?" Right?
Yeah.
Because there were letters.
Yeah, there were letters.
Yeah, and I was
couldn't
like, is it
tell-
alphabets
was
or
it-
alphabet soup?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Okay.
Alphabeti spaghetti.
Here's what I ate yesterday. SpaghettiOs.
right? Yeah.
Oh no,
Alf-
is this an Eminem song?
Alphabet SpaghettiOs. Alphabets. Alphabet soup.
Keep going.
So there's just a lot of...
that's only 4.
Well, that's as many as I could think of.
Alpha
Letters.
vitamins.
Alpha.
Alfalfa.
Alpha.
Yes.
Alpha.
Yes, alpha.
Ooh, you know what? Alfalfa was the alpha.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alfalfa was the alpha.
That's interesting.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Is it?
We're 20 seconds in and we are off the rails.
Yeah.
Why did we buy these rails?
Here's
Yeah.
the issue. I have a little ear nubbin in my ear.
Yeah.
To monitor the audio.
Right.
Now you can hear yourself.
And I can hear myself, but I can also hear you guys, and I can hear the audio drop off when you turn.
Yeah.
And it's freaking me out.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
go. You get back on.
Oh,
it."
I think with
Yes,
Brad,
sir.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm quitting the Secret Service. I'm out. I want to be present with my boys. That's what I want.
I hear you.
Thank you. Stolen valor. So we've had a little bit of a break here between recordings,
Yes,
right?
sure.
And a few things have happened, and we'll get to those things throughout the podcast.
Right.
I did want to mention something that happened.
Okay.
So I have two. I have a quick one, then I have an interesting one.
Oh,
The first one's not interesting.
No, it's
got
very
it.
boring.
But at least it's quick.
It's interesting to the two of you, and to the listener viewer, not interesting at all. But I will say this. So hold on, let me back up. Let's edit this part.
Okay.
I'm a little flustered. I just dealt with a thing.
bank
Like I had a bank thing with
Right.
a
I
booker,
know,
and I was
I
blah,
know.
blah, blah. So a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, we talked about Smallets, right?
Yes.
Little wallets.
Oh, yeah.
Little baby wallets.
Yeah.
For your pockets. Because
Yes.
who has all the money's paper now?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I got my wallet from Distil.
Oh, I thought you were asking us, like, who controls the money? And I had an answer.
Don't answer it.
No.
Whatever you answer,
You're
it's
going
not
to think
be
it's
good.
weird.
Okay, hit it.
Alfalfa.
I like whoever's editing this episode, Craig, maybe, if you could just zoom in as close as possible to Chuck's face so you can get the glint of dead eyes right before he answers the question. Here's it. Alfalfa.
It's like, what is the easiest comedy thing? A callback.
It's we're back with you getting pulled over
Yeah.
again. Yeah. What? Alfalfa?
Well, you know, I was going to say Romans because
Yeah.
we were talking off mic about the idea of making fun of Romans. We
Yeah.
were talking about the whole. They have is X's, I's, and V's for their numbers. And
Yeah, they
stuff
don't
like
know
that.
numbers. They're so stupid.
Yeah.
They're so stupid.
I was going to say them, but then I'm like the audience. They don't know. So
That's
I'm
fair.
Like, what else do we say?
Also,
Alfalfa.
if you're inventing Roman numerals and you go, okay, so 1 is I,
Yep.
2 is 2 I's,
Yep.
Yeah.
3 is 3 I's,
Makes sense.
4 is an I, and then a V.
I think
Yes.
you have to figure out the 5 before you figure out the 4
yeah.
because
So he got to 4.
Yeah.
Or she. It was a he.
I think
got
they
to 4.
They plan on 4 I's.
Yeah.
They were like, this is a lot of numbers. What's 5? And they're like, how about V? And then they're like, you know what?
But why
Let's
V?
change
Why
4.
should 5 be V?
Why is 5 V?
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's 2 strokes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So they're just coming up with characters based on 2 strokes.
Well, no,
So
it's
I,
it's
V,
it's
X.
yeah. The most common numbers are going to be the ones that you want to make the easiest.
Ah, 10s, 5s. Is there an L?
Yeah, L is 50.
I hate it.
C
100.
I hate
C
it.
is 100.
What if you do a
1,000.
bad 5?
M.
You could do a bad 5
Yep.
and everything gets screwed up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it looks like an L.
Can you tell
Yeah.
me an answer? What? How do you write in Roman 1,596?
Isn't it?
They didn't have numbers that high back then,
M-
so you didn't have to worry about it.
MD.
D.
A 500.
Yeah,
So
sure.
that's
I don't know.
1500, right?
I'm
What was
out.
the number? What was the number you asked for?
1956.
Did you say 1956 or 1596?
I don't know.
Let's cut all of
Yeah.
it.
We don't need this.
So Craig, cut all of everything. Should we just restart?
I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be MDXC because that's 90?
Yeah.
VI for 6.
Also, if you ever find a pill that has MDXCVI on
Yeah,
it,
take it.
Take it. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. It's so good. It'll dry you out though.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
will.
yeah.
You
Stay
will look like a
hydrated.
raisin, but you will be so happy that
Yeah.
you're a
Yes,
raisin.
yes, yes.
So we I don't know where we're gonna cut, but we should for sure trim some hat off of that. But so we talked about small wallets.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, a nice thin wallet because you don't need all that cash and
Right.
stuff like that. And Distil Union was nice enough to give me a Small-ets.
Oh,
And we talked about it on the podcast, and you did not have a Small-ets.
Nope.
And Chuck showed his Small-ets to the camera.
Yep.
And it was you said it was like the cheapest one on Amazon, right?
That is correct.
So Distil Union saw the episode.
Right.
They saw your horrible, cheap knockoff Small-ets from Amazon.
Yep.
Pathetic, they said.
Yeah.
They said pathetic in italics. And then they just felt bad that you
Right.
didn't have one, Brad.
Yes.
But by the way, they did say pathetic in italics,
Yeah.
and they put a space between every letter.
Oh yeah,
Which was
they
interesting.
Drew it
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
all different heights. It was. They spent a lot of time on that.
You
There
know-
was a SpongeBob meme in there, I think.
you know what's weird is that Chuck's cheap Smollett has dissolved due to it getting wet, but it's never really come out of his pockets. So I'm not sure where the moisture came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we know. I think we can guess.
Pathetic.
Pathetic. Speaking of Romans, Trojan. I don't know why that popped into my head. But I got this package in the mail.
I see the word distill on it.
It says knock knock.
Ooh.
Who's there?
You ever see that movie?
Knock knock.
Yeah, we did. We
talk
watched
about
that
it
movie. Yeah.
afterwards.
Knock knock the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Knock knock the movie.
That'll be after that.
So I want to open this for you gentle boys, because I know what's in it. It's not for me.
I mean, I have suspicions as to what.
This is not for me. This is for you.
Is it from the Amazon distributor that I bought my cheapest wallet from?
No, they went out of business because they were using child labor.
Yeah, I
Your
know.
cheap. That's how they got it so
I
cheap
thought it
and
was
so
a
knockoff.
positive thing. I thought it was jobs for tots.
crafted by the smallest hands.
That's interesting.
Tot jobs.
Don't you think it's interesting that jobs for tots is bad? That sounds good.
Yeah, I also don't want to get a tot job either.
You know what? You know what?
Brad, speak on it.
Speak on it, brother.
It's when a grown adult woman puts a bunch of tater tots in her mouth.
Oh yeah, Distill's gonna love this. Yeah, they did a blowjob joke about
We'll cut that. We'll cut. Well, wait.
Brad. Who
You
did it?
did tot
Which
jobs.
one was it? Ray or Chuck? It was actually Brad.
Yeah. I all I remember is me saying distinctly, I don't want a tot job. And then Brad
There were
really went into it.
implications.
Yeah.
I had
So-
nothing to do with it. It's really to you two.
So I
Distill,
have here
our friends.
some Small-ets for the two of you.
Justin Smollett.
Yeah, so this one is for you.
Thank you.
And this one is from you, for you, and it's from Distil Union.
Wow.
They are not a sponsor of the podcast or anything. They were just kind enough to do this and enjoy the show, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, a little thing to pull.
So, and they're all different colors. I have brown.
Whoa! There's a
Whoa.
magnet on mine.
Yeah, there's magnets all over it.
All over
It's mostly magnets.
It's mostly
Whoa!
magnets.
Both sides have a pull tab.
Yep.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Wow. And look at this.
Yeah.
This is like if I'm at a concert, I can express my fun.
Yes.
It's like a noisemaker. Kind of quiet.
What you want to do in a big crowd is wave your wallet around, and with the tabs pulled open, so your important cards are just flapping around.
The dollars are coming out of it. This is awesome.
Thank
Wow,
you so
thanks.
much,
Yes,
Distill.
thank you.
Yeah,
And
thank
very
you,
much.
Distil Union. Sincerely, really appreciate that. And now you guys have. You know what? We have matching Small-ets.
We have matching wallets and
Yeah.
we have matching sling bags.
That's true from Tom Talk.
Tom
Another fun little thing that was sent to us by Tom Talk.
Yes.
Some sling bags. Chuck was very happy with his.
Yes.
Yes, it
and
was.
mine's a little short for my big tall body.
Yes.
And you know what though? I have this. I did not mean to do this. This just turned into a fucking
Chill.
a traveling carnival, right? This turned into QVC. Is what this is. No, Bellroy, the amazing like bag and wallet company, Bellroy.
Yeah.
They sent me this sling bag. So thank you, Tom Talk, for the sling bags. Brad and Chuck can use them.
I love my Tom Talk.
I'm too tall for it. It says right on it, not for big boys.
Yeah.
For
Right.
medium boys.
Right.
Yeah. But Bellroy sent me this. I fucking love this bag.
Wow.
It's a sling bag. It's like the perfect size for just enough stuff.
Yes.
Right? I take it with me now every time we have to do a thing. I'm stuffing this Bellroy bag. And I love Bellroy genuinely. I have some of their stuff already. They're a fucking great company. I shouldn't be swearing in this like nice positive thing.
Well, you talked about the tater top in the girl's mouth thing, and that was gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
I thought that was cut. I carry my Tom Talk bag and I fill it full of pistachios. I'm gonna get Ray's for the shells, and then I'm just gonna wear them.
Two of them on either side. I like the idea.
Bandoliers.
You pull one nut out, you're like, that's hilarious. Crinkle, crinkle, crackle. Put the shells back in there. I'm gonna feed them to the birds later.
You know, at some point he's gonna go, no. Oh, got it mixed up.
Mixed nuts.
Yes.
I really want to see you slip on black ice.
So here's an interesting thing.
The shells
So
and the
now-
nuts go everywhere. Oh, this is
each one
okay.
up.
This one's shell.
Okay, hold
This
on.
one's
no,
nut.
put
This
him back
one's
in.
nut.
Put it back in. There's one a litter. We have the same wallets and sling bags.
Yeah.
A couple years into this podcast, we're going to be indiscernible.
Yeah.
Right?
Start eating.
Seeing as how my hair isn't going to grow back.
That is true.
you
We're gonna go bald.
guys-
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's stop bullshit.
All right.
I do have a fun story.
Thank you, Distil.
Yeah. Thank you sincerely.
Thank you, Distil. Thank you, Tom Talk. Thank you.
Bellroy.
Bellroy.
Yeah. And thank you, Cooper's Gas Coffee. There's so many things that aren't actual sponsors.
If anyone wants to actually send us money, that'd be so nice.
But we do like the free stuff.
I know. I can't even decide.
I mean, it's half the reason I decided to do this podcast with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Was
Oh,
to
yeah.
get free stuff.
And I'm good at hustling this kind of stuff.
Look at all the things I brought to the table.
You did a great
Literally
job.
to the table.
I remember one day,
Brad, step it up.
Working on it.
One day, Ray came over, and we were editing Undependent.
Yeah.
And Ray came over, and I'm like, oh, I got a package. And he's like, what is it? And I'm like, $2,000 laptop from HP. And Ray was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I reached out to them, and they sent me this. That thing is a fucking beast today.
Yeah.
And that was a while ago. Probably like 6 years ago? Was it
No.
2017?
No. 18.
That's 5 years ago.
I'll
Yeah,
say
maybe
Ch-
17. I
Chuck
don't
called
know.
me that night just giggling, and he's like, Ray
Yeah.
was so mad about my new laptop. It was great.
Yeah. No, listen, like if you were like, oh, I have this coffee hookup because I love this coffee, I'd be like, yeah, good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
But then having a $2,000 laptop, just be like, here you go. That's when it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I hope that laptop breaks.
Can I tell you? I'll tell you a sad secret. I was like, it's been a couple years, maybe 5 years. Let me reach out, see if I can get an upgrade, and maybe I could send this one back. They might have a program where they either give them to schools or something. And so I reached out to the guy. His name was Ken at HP. It's like this email has been like discontinued or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I looked it up. He's dead. Ken is dead.
Oh, no.
No joke.
Rest in peace, Ken.
What did you do?
I know.
I'm not saying.
HP
yeah.
for sending out too many free laptops.
Right. Listen, I don't know. I don't think you were directly responsible, but I do think there's a necessary correlation here of he gave you a free laptop. Now he's dead.
Yes.
How that happened, I don't know.
Yeah.
MXL sent us a free microphone. I should check on that guy.
You should check on that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that more like was for my benefit, so that guy's probably thriving.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Maybe he doesn't work there anymore because he won the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're kind of rambly about free stuff
Yes.
now, and now I immediately have the listener viewer in mind.
Yes.
Let's get to it.
Yes.
Let's do some fun podcastery.
Yes. That was our quick but not interesting thing.
Yeah.
Now
And it
we have
wasn't
an
even quick.
interesting thing.
Yeah. No, so here's the story. I'm second guessing everything I'm doing today because I had a frantic situation happen right before getting
Understandable.
here. I apologize. So
Ray robbed a bank.
I did, and I smoked methamphetamine while I was doing it because I thought it would help. Yeah. And then I smoked the meth.
Yes.
So it slowed my heart down.
Yes, it was weird.
I watched John Wick last
I'm not
night.
healthy.
Yeah.
Whenever you watch a thing,
Uh-huh.
is there a part of you that's like, I would love to be John Wick. I would love to be the guy robbing banks. I would love to be this criminal, that criminal, this criminal, that criminal. Do you ever have that?
No.
Because I was watching John Wick.
I think this is a psychological
I was
thing.
like, I am so close to fucking boom, 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 boom. Fuck you, Ray. Fuck you, Brad. You're dead. You're dead.
Oh, I was like, I only got shot twice. I thought I stood a chance.
Then I swear.
This is all psychological.
Yeah.
It really is. I like how I'm saying that quietly and calmly to you, and he's just over there doing finger guns over and over and over.
I mean, he's.
Can I ask a real thing?
I put blanks in the gun because I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like this though? Like when you
Do
watch
I ever fantasize about shooting my friends or associates? No.
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 Okay, tell the truth. Tell the truth for a
Just
second. For a second. When you watch a bank heist movie,
Yeah.
do you ever say like, "Man, what would it be like for me to be in this situation?"
I mean, I think there's the element of watching any kind of movie thing and kind of putting yourself there a little bit. Sure.
Yeah.
But do you ever think
heisty stuff? Yeah, hell yeah. I'll
Okay,
fantasize
all right.
about fun heisty stuff.
There you
sure.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have
but
to kill-
again, not killing my friends and associates.
But if we're gonna do a heist,
But you
we
got.
gotta-
But you want all the goods for yourself. So you got to double cross us.
this is the Dark Knight opening.
Now, see, I'm the team player. I
Oh.
want everybody to get their due. I'm more of an Oceans kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Right? I'm an Oceans guy.
Dark Knight guy.
You're a Dark Knight guy.
No, I didn't say that. I was the Joker.
No, not the Joker.
Well, the Joker is the one who has them all kill each other and gets the money at the end.
oh, okay.
So
well,
it is the
whatever.
Joker.
So you're a guy who just wants to shoot me.
Well, no. This is what I'm thinking. I'm
That's
thinking.
you do the heist separately,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Oh shit, forgot," and then you come to my house, knock, knock, knock. Hey, what's up?
Well, the question is, I mean, if
I'm Baby Driver.
we're gonna do a heist, minus the driver.
He's Kevin Spacey. Yeah, he's Kevin Spacey for sure. Yeah,
If we're gonna do the heist,
yeah.
we're gonna break a few eggs. Now, does that mean that a bank teller is gonna get the bullet? I don't know who's gonna get the bullet. but
Probably me.
Someone's gonna get a bullet.
Almost certainly me.
Okay, so in our Oceans scenario,
We kill a bank teller.
Chuck does not get a gun.
No.
That's the only big rule. That's at the top of the dry erase
Yeah.
board that we're putting our plan together on. Chuck does not get a gun.
Right.
Because he's talking about it already. Like, I mean, someone's gonna get shot. I will shoot somebody.
We come in the next day and someone has just crossed out not, and it says Chuck does get a gun. And we're like, oh.
And he has dry erase marker all over his nose, and he's been sniffing them for hours. Right? I don't know who did it.
Don't you feel like this primal need to
I don't know why
express
what
this
you
rage?
what you need to hear from me. I have never fantasized about shooting a friend or an associate, but starting to see the appeal. There is a little bit of a I could
How about this? Okay, let's back off the murder.
I could see it.
Let's back off the murder. When someone
Fuck around and find out.
when
What?
someone runs and dives across a car hood
Yep.
or like does a cool thing, you got to feel like, fuck, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do
Sure.
that right now.
Yeah,
think
I
about
feel
it
I
every
feel
day.
that way whenever like a fit friend does anything.
Yeah.
Like whenever Doug Key does a damn thing in front of me, I'm just like, whoa. Wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
When
oh
some-
wow, they went up those steep flight of stairs really fast, and they're talking the whole time.
That's Doug Key
I
for you.
can't do stairs and a conversation.
Yeah. No, that's
I do
good.
one or the other.
Either or.
Do you
That's
want
funny.
me breathing heavily through my nose? No, no one wants that.
That's a funny take on that. The idea of one person saying, "Do you ever think about this and all the super stuff?" And you're like, "Are you kidding me?" Like when this person, that's really funny. That's very good.
thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
very talented.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See,
You know what?
I look
Oh,
at that. I'm saying, I look at that and I'm like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could think of a funny thing and deliver it in a funny way. And Chuck's like, I want to kill you for saying that.
Maybe if I eat you, it'll give me your power.
I'm not gonna eat you.
I just want to drink your bloods. No. So this thing happened, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So I went to Maine to do a show, and it was part of this little festival that was going on in Bath, Maine. And I went up to Bath, and it is a like naval shipyardy place. They make boats and launch boats and do boats, and it's called Bath.
Okay, it's a town.
I don't know. It's a town.
I have a question about Maine. I don't know if I should interject now or later.
You can do it now.
Real quick.
Sure.
A couple days ago, I met this woman in a hotel lobby, and it was
What were you doing?
I was there.
Okay. Are you a bellboy?
So I met this woman.
Chuck's a classic.
I did the
bellboy,
whole
isn't
thing
he?
where I went to the hotel bar
Service.
and I sat next to a woman.
Telephone call
and she
from
had the
Mr.
glass
Herman.
of, she had the glass of wine, and I sat next to her.
Yeah.
And we got to talking.
And she immediately covered the top of her wine and
with a
shifted it to the
coaster.
other side of her body.
I saw that, and I was like,
That's your pickup line?
no. So she was like, I love Portland, Maine. Like, have you been to Portland, Maine? I said, my buddy is from Bangor, Maine. He tells me about slab pizza and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Started talking
I'm
about
from southern Maine.
Well, this is
Bangor
my
Central.
This is my question. So I don't know if you have any experience with Portland, Maine. And she was like,
Yeah.
she was like, you could go there and just stay for a week and just try restaurants, coffee shops, and have like the time of your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would love to do that. I think you would enjoy doing that too.
I think I would enjoy it for 2 days.
There's a place, isn't there like
There's
a,
If I was with you, three.
Donut place and a pizza
Holy
place.
Donuts, yeah.
Me, 2 weeks. Ray, 2 days.
No, I
There,
think
there is a donut place.
yeah.
Holy Donuts.
Yes. And so anyway, I didn't know if you had experience with Portland, Maine, because
Tons.
I don't know where.
So
everything is.
Bangor is central Maine. That's like 3 hours from Portland.
Oh, wow, okay.
I grew up in Kittery, Maine,
Right,
which
Kittery.
is the southernmost town in Maine. And Kittery is like 40 minutes from Portland.
Yeah.
So I grew up going to Portland all the time.
Yeah.
And like when you grow up in Kittery, Maine, you know.
Yeah, it's like this. When
when
you
you have
city
your
or
license,
something.
like, yeah, you go up to Portland.
Yeah, it's like the city.
Portland's where I started doing stand up,
Yeah.
and so like I know a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Jason Loring that owns Slab,
Yeah.
like my favorite pizza in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. There's some great coffee places for sure. It is a foodie town. It's turned into a really wonderful place. Yeah.
I'd love to go. I don't know
It's-
if you
yeah,
ever
it's great.
if you ever go up for a show, maybe we should all go and
I
record
feel
some
like
episodes.
I always end up in Castle Rock, Maine. And I'm always fighting these like
Yep.
monsters and demons and stuff.
Yeah.
And then one time I was in Derry and this group of kids thought they killed me. They didn't.
One time
gonna go
Chuck was
back
in Derry and
30
he was in a
something.
cave with these same kids.
Yeah.
And he just talked the kids into running a train on another kid. Really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. They skimmed over that in the new movie, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Tot Jobs?
That's a Todd job.
I know.
All right. So
no,
I was
my-
in.
my
So you were
question
in
is-
Bath, Maine.
My question is, if you have a show up in Maine, maybe me and Brad could go with you one time. We could record an episode and go to Portland.
Yeah.
That would be
or,
really
Or
fun.
maybe I'll meet you there. We go separately.
Well,
because
we've-
I got these things.
We've
that are
talked about the
happening.
idea of Funbearable Chode trip episodes. Remember we talked about that?
I don't remember agreeing
Pardon?
to that title.
It was the idea that in the car we record an episode and we call it Chode Trip.
All right,
Like
I
we're a
don't-
bunch of chodes. You know what I mean?
I don't think we
No,
were there
no,
when
no.
you
You
had
said
that
yes. Brad said,
I
I don't know about Chode. You said Chode yes. He said Chode maybe.
It's true.
I said Chode yes, which is
I
two
definitely said no.
I don't remember this at all.
No, it never happened. It never
Okay.
You don't remember this?
never actually happened.
I said Chode Trip to you.
I'm sure you did.
Oh, all right. Well,
Brad, what do you think about a two-man?
You know
I
what?
know you used to do one, but what if it was different? You know, that's the most menacing.
How is this
Real
this is
thing.
cocking a gun?
Yeah,
I don't know
he
about
does
guns.
not. You know what? Now I feel better. You have no idea how to use a gun.
If you gave me 100 guns, I'd never be able to shoot you. I know I wouldn't. I know I could not figure it out.
Wow. Okay. You know how they say an infinite monkeys, right? They could write Shakespeare. Yeah. Give Chuck 100 guns. Right? And
I'm like-
you know what you get? A dead Chuck.
It's like, this is it. Ready? Shit. I just go through all of them. Brad's like,
I just
Brad's
picture-
laughing.
I picture a pile of guns and you going, woohoo, all right. Oh, which one am I gonna? Oh, yes. And then like you just hear you like, that's the one. And you reach in and then you just hear bang and he's dead.
Breaking news, guys. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right.
Oh.
They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger.
I already knew that.
From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger allows you, Ray, to shape your signature beard look.
You do have a signature look.
Now you can
Is
finally
it
use
this one?
Yeah.
Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code FUNBEAR for 20% off and free shipping. Full disclosure, we have received beard hedgers.
This is why I was saying, like, I already knew these things.
Right.
You handed me the hedger.
Like, I think he's telling the audience.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
You have used the beard hedger.
I have used the hedge. I've hedged my beard.
Yes.
I've hedged my bets and I've hedged my beard. And I really, really like it for a couple of reasons. One, as soon as I picked it up, I was like, this is from the future that we live in.
Yes.
That's
I
how
really
felt.
liked it.
Yeah.
I like that there's a little light that tells you the battery amount on it
yeah.
in a fun, pulsating way of
Yes.
like, this is cool, and maybe it'll talk to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe I can shoot like a grappling hook out of it or something.
Yes.
It also has a removable guard on it that you can get in there and do your bits and business.
Yes.
But that guard is also controlled by a fun little dial.
Yes.
On the
Yeah.
handle.
I know. I
it
love
goes
that.
from point whatever.
I think it's 0.5 millimeters.
0.5
Right.
millimeters up to a full
Centimeter.
centimeter.
This guy.
Yeah, that's mine as well. And it's really, really great. I love the fact that you can dial in what you want and then also just pop it off and take care of your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I've been using it. I have a little. It comes with a little travel case, and it charges with USB-C. So
Very
it's
helpful.
like I already have a
Yes.
ton of different USB-C chargers, and it's good for traveling because I live in two places as you may remember.
I've heard. Yeah.
I have a house
Would
in
it be
Rhode
an
Island.
episode if you didn't say it?
I have a house in Rhode Island, and I live in the big city, New York City.
All right.
the
Well,
Big
you.
Apple.
I don't know about
Hold on. Hold on. Warren and Staten Island.
Yes.
More similar than Warren and like
New York
Manhattan
City.
or Brooklyn or Queens or anything
yes,
like that.
I'm in Staten Island.
Yeah.
I have jobs
Which is the
around
no
the
man's
city.
land between.
It is. Yeah, as
New
Chuck
York
says,
and
it
New
is
Jersey.
the core of the Big Apple.
Well, here's the thing. You know what?
the center-
Because you throw away the core.
Well, here's the
Nobody
thing.
ever gets an apple going, I can't wait to get to that weird hard bit with the seeds in it.
Exactly. The core that's Times Square. No one wants that. No one wants that. You know where you want to live? The healthy skin with all the nutrients and vitamins on Staten Island.
The part that some people just peel right off.
The idiots.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Chuck Staten said anyone living in any of the other boroughs is an idiot.
If you disregard Staten Island, you're an idiot. And if you disregard any skin from any apple, you're also an idiot.
I just pictured Chuck saying all of this representing himself in court.
You know who's not an idiot? People who take advantage of this 20% off and free shipping with the code FUNBEAR.
Yeah.
One word at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code FUNBEAR. All one word at
One love.
manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code FUNBEAR. One word.
One love.
Manscaped Beard Hedger. One stroke, one guard, 20 lengths.
2 homes.
So I'm in Bath, Maine.
Bath, Maine.
Yeah, I'm doing a show in Bath, right? They asked me to come up and do this show, and I'm always happy to do any show in Maine.
Yes.
I get excited for any excuse to go back to Maine.
Right.
So I head up to Bath. The deal was they weren't going to pay for the hotel because the venue was a like cafe restaurant place.
Okay.
And it's like it's a bit of a landmark in Bath, right?
Right.
And it's like this huge old house that they turned into this cafe restaurant.
Oh, the bathhouse.
Yes, yeah, different. It's different. So they opened an Airbnb there.
Yes.
All right.
I say opened. They were opening
Right.
an Airbnb there, so they were going to have me stay there, and then I would do the show. So I do the show, and the show was really fun. And there was a guy towards the back of the crowd that was close to like a little aisle where I would walk off stage, right?
Okay.
And he looked pretty dour, through the show.
Right.
Pretty straight faced.
A Brad face, if you will.
Yeah, he was Brad faced.
Got it. Poor guy.
Through the show, and I made a joke towards the end of the show, like I have to get off stage and walk past this guy.
Right.
And I was like, he's sitting under a paper star lamp, like a lantern kind of light hanging. I'm like, this man is sitting under a paper star. That is the face of a man who was killed before. I'm nervous to walk over there because he's sitting under the paper star, and that fortune teller was right.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah,
It's a
that's
fun
funny.
little joke.
Right. Yeah.
I like using that line sometimes. And he was laughing, and we had a bit of a fun time.
Yep.
And I said, what's your name? And he said, Kelly. And I was like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, no Kelly.
No Kelly is, nobody's like, oh, Kelly, get off him. You're killing him. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That's funny.
So, have a fun time with the guy. Everything works out well. I get off stage and I walk down that aisle.
Yep.
And he comes over, he's sitting there and he gets my attention and I go to shake his hand. And he shows in his hand something, and it looked like a badge. It was this item that I have right here. And he just goes like this. He shows the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are you? Right. And he's like, no, that's for you. And he hands it to me and I'm looking at it. And what this is a challenge coin.
Yeah.
Challenge coins are from usually the military.
Yes.
They are used in other ways. Like a lot of times, if you see like a president in the Oval Office, behind them they'll have like a little stand of challenge coins that different people have given them.
Right.
So these are a big deal. Like I didn't know too much about them.
I don't know about challenge coins either. I
Yeah.
know the term
So this is
Chuck has a challenge coin. We'll get to
from
it.
Lou, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a military challenge coin from Commander Kelly, and I won't say his last name,
Right.
but presented by the commanding officer, right? So
Right.
he is a commander in the Navy.
Oh, makes
and,
sense.
Yeah, and handed me this challenge coin, and I didn't know a lot about them.
Right.
Yeah.
All I really knew I learned from Dan Schlissel, the owner of Stand Up Records.
Right.
Okay.
He had me go to Akumal, Mexico,
Right.
to do a comedy festival that he was doing down there, and he had challenge coins made
Yeah.
for
Right.
the festival.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I thought that was really nice. So that's where I learned about them. But I did know that like the military ones, like that's a big deal.
Yes.
So treat it with respect.
Yes.
So I treated it with the right amount of respect and
Right.
stuff, and I checked the whole thing out. It's a beautiful coin. I like
Yes,
it.
me too.
It's really cool.
Yes.
And I do feel, this sounds cheesy, but I'll say I do feel honored to be given this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think what I'm guessing, and I don't know if this is true at all, I'm guessing perhaps he was having a bad night, and that's why he
Possible.
looked
Dour.
a little dour.
Yeah, or he
right?
had
And
resting
you made
Brad
him
face.
smile.
Right, exactly, yes. Or resting Brad face.
Yeah.
And I, made him smile, gave him a fun night.
You excelled at your
Right.
job, which
Right.
was to entertain him.
Yeah, and so to be given this isn't something you give a comedian where you're like, oh, you were funny, here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
My wife was talking to a coworker that she works with that was a Marine and has been retired for like 30 years, I
Wow.
think. So she brought it up to him, and he got all animated about it and like stood up from behind his desk and came over and was like, do you know how big of a deal that is?
That's
to
awesome.
get that? He's like, I have been out of the Marines for 30 years. I've only given a challenge coin to someone twice in my entire life.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So yeah,
That's awesome.
that's not a brag. It's really just like this. I never expected in comedy
Right. Yeah.
for someone in the audience to be like, let me give you this. I don't know if I cash it in.
Well, you get to break one maritime law.
Is that the deal?
Yeah, well, it's a naval challenge coin.
That's right.
So if you get pulled over,
on a boat.
On a boat.
You know what I should
You're about to go on another boat trip.
Yeah.
you could break the law.
You could break the
That's
law.
right. I should bring this with me
Well, we could
on
do
any
our
cruise
we could
ship
do our
that
heist.
I have to work on.
Then I flip. I kill someone.
What?
Maybe this guy.
And
we
take
get
it.
out of it.
yeah. I just flash the
Well, no, you have to turn it in.
No.
Yeah,
I don't want
Well,
to
you only get
No,
one
you
maritime
only
law.
have to turn it in if you interact with someone equal to or higher in command than what the coin is from. So this is a commander, and I believe that's the second highest or third highest. So all I have to do is just be like, hey, Commander Kelly said we're good to go.
Yeah.
And they're like,
said the heist.
Right.
Yeah, you could heist.
And they
this
salute,
boat.
and then somebody goes, stolen valor, and then Chuck shoots them.
Yes.
But I was nervous at first when I walked up and he was just like this. I was like, what happened? What am I doing? I didn't touch her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was scary because it looks like a badge.
I think you should be really proud of that.
I am very proud of that. That is something that I will have forever. I wanted to tell you guys about it because it is such an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a very unique experience to be given that.
It's a very cool way that really kind of puts into like a physical item almost what I think of when I think of the best of what entertainment does, which is kind of give you a distraction from whatever is bothering you in your life. Or you know, it could be, it doesn't have to be a crazy thing. It could be your everyday life that makes you bummed out, whatever it is, things that are tough. And for someone to pull you out of that, to distract you for a little bit, whether it's a movie, a comedian, a concert, whatever.
A podcast. Probably some other podcast, though.
A podcast.
Yeah, a different one.
But like that.
This one was like QVC for a little while.
No, but everyone found out about my fun killing.
Yeah, fun killing. Why did I just picture those words in magazine letters?
Yes. Fun killing could be the name of this episode because you got the thing and you killed.
Yeah.
You know? But
it is. I agree with what
you know
you're saying,
what I mean?
though.
Yeah, because this is a representation of how much entertainment can mean to someone.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's been moments in doing stand-up where people have come up to me after a show, and there's like a cheesy saying in stand-up. I don't know if everybody says it, but it like you never know what someone's going through in the crowd. It could be their worst night.
Exactly. Yeah.
So be careful with crowd work when you're talking to people.
Yeah.
I've had people come up to me. I had a couple come up to me. I was working on material, like I had just had my son, and I was working on material about like having a baby.
Right.
And this couple was in the front row, and I interacted with them, and everything was good. And after the show, the husband came out and shook my hand. He's a beefy dude, like one of those guys that shakes your hand and like he's got a fucking mitt. You know what I mean? Yeah. I almost called him dad. Like it was close.
Yeah.
But he shook my hand and kind of pulled me in, and was like, "Listen, our son died.
Whoa.
Like a year and a half ago. We haven't gone out. This is our first night out."
Yeah.
And I was immediately like, oh my God, I did crowd work about having kids with this couple. I felt awful in that moment, but he pulled me in and said that. And he was like, but you made it worth coming out. You made it good. Yeah. So like having that situation happen, I was like, Jesus, like it scared me a little bit. Like I don't want to be a comic that's just like, oh, your kid died? Let me fucking rib you about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah.
But that was so meaningful to me. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's funny because, you know, as all of us have grown up, it's like you get into stuff like this for the reason of how much it can touch people.
Yeah.
And it really gets lost a lot of the time.
Oh,
when it's like scheduling, work, money, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, this is my job. And that becomes a tough thing. But then you got to remember that this is what it's for.
Right. And I mean, those genuine connection moments, you know, I would like to think sometimes I don't even know when it happens.
Yeah.
Of course. There's been really lovely times when things have happened. I've made someone feel better about an illness or a physical defect. You know what I mean? Like I had a guy who was missing a hand, and it was like a fairly recent injury.
Yeah.
And I was doing, he had said something. He was like a happy heckler at a show. He was just having a good time. So I just threw a quick, like, shut him down joke.
Yeah.
And then he stood up and held his hand up, or his where it would be up.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, yeah, what about this? And it shocked me. Also, like, it's weird for you to just be like, oh, yeah? I'm missing a hand. I'm like, well, we weren't even talking about this, right?
Then you had to go into like your 40 minutes of amputee humor.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's my stump material.
Yeah, but you just played with that for a while, and in a way that where we were together.
Yeah.
You know, I just shifted it where it was like, I can't believe you guys knew all the people around him knew he didn't have a hand, and you let me do a couple of jokes about this guy, and you didn't tell me. I'm with you, man. Fuck these people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
That's
then
funny.
we're together.
That's funny.
I ended up bringing him up on stage, and we did some goofs back and forth.
Yeah.
And then we posed for a picture with him holding the stump up against my ass.
That's a good.
It was the
that's a good
hardcore
gag.
show. It was the
Good
hardcore
gag,
show.
good gag.
Highbrow.
It was the hardcore show. What are you gonna
Now
do?
give me a top
It's a late
top.
night Friday night with a drink.
Becky, warm
wheel.
up the tater tot.
But this is the hardcore show was like a notoriously like rough show. It was dirty, and all those things happened.
Blue.
Late night.
Yeah.
There's a drink wheel that you spin on the stage when you go up.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. But you know, having him like say to me on stage before he sat down, he's like this just happened. I was so fucking depressed. You made my night. Thank you so much.
That's good.
Like those are really wonderful moments.
Yeah.
And you're right. They often get overlooked or drowned out, I think, by the people that are more just you need to tailor everything specifically to me. And I'm just sort of like the shitty people. The shitty people drown out like that genuine feeling.
Right.
But
Yes.
yeah, so do you guys have any experience with
Our
challenge
challenge coin, our friend Lou Perella made challenge coins
Stole
one
them down.
year for Christmas and gave them out as Christmas gifts. And so
Yeah.
I have a little Lou Perella challenge coin. And I think he's like, I had to order 75 and I only have 20 friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so he
yeah.
was just trying to figure out, what to do with the rest of them. I'm like, hold
Yeah.
on to them. And so that's, I had heard about challenge coins before. Not a lot of room to get one through improv comedy.
Yeah, there is. I'll bring one.
Not the way I do it.
I'll bring loose.
What if Commander Kelly was in the audience?
Yeah, you might have done it.
It's weird. I think about people coming up to me after shows and they're like, "Hey, Brad, that was such a good show. Are you all right?" That's what I get more than anything else.
That is a challenge.
More than anything else.
I like the idea of in this scenario, you're on stage doing comedy, but you're the one that needed the night to turn around. so somebody in the audience has to do it, and then you give them a challenge.
Yes.
Right? Hey, listen.
Thanks. Thanks for
I was in a
noticing.
dark place.
Yeah.
I got something recently, and I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say about it, so I'll keep it kind of vague. Mm-hmm. But a
There's a
policeman,
warrant. Oh,
a policeman
It is a warrant.
who appreciates some of the stuff that I do, gave me a PBA card.
Pro Bowlers Association. Chuck is touring
Now,
with the Pro Bowlers Association.
you know what? I think if you want to bring youthful energy into bowling, Chuck is the guy.
that's true. I could be a star bowler like Happy Gilmore, but bowling.
No, yeah. I think you have everything in context with bowling. You excel. You know what I'm saying? I think you have alley charm.
Thank you.
Right? I think you have great charm for a bowling alley.
I think you would be the most handsome man on the PBA tour.
I think you would be the most healthy man on the PBA tour.
I've got 3 fingers, at least more than that.
Yeah.
10.
You've got the math skills of the PBA. Right?
I'll
you
say-
can go up to 10, and that's where it kind of caps out.
You're obsessive,
Yeah.
which is important in bowling because you want to make sure you're doing the same steps and bring your arm back the same way. the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's
You
about
want
as
people to watch you?
I can only really run about 6 feet.
Yeah. I think the only thing you would have a problem with is when you see a clearly defined line, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, Chuck just kicks down the pins.
You've got dry hands.
You know what? When I see a clearly defined line, I just take a large bowl and throw it over. No, do you know what a PBA card is?
Puberty blocking allergy.
You're gonna think this is crazy, and this is a real thing. And
Is it like a get out
I
of
do.
jail free card?
Yes, it is. It's like basically like a policeman gives you it.
Yeah.
They have their badge number on it. They have your information on it. And if you get in trouble with the law, you give them the PBA card and you get away with it.
I don't know about get away with it.
It doesn't work exactly like
I
that.
don't think
but
if I do end up with the whole,
yeah.
I can't get away. I can't get away with that.
See, this
Well,
is
that's
I can't get
because
away
it's
with that.
2 murders. You can get away with 1 murder.
But I think if I was caught speeding,
yeah.
you know what?
Right? Yeah, you pull it up.
I flip it up in my wallet.
Here's the problem. I think this officer gave him a card that has some sway.
It does.
But did not clearly define things to Chuck and let Chuck's mind run wild.
It's labeled junior sheriff, and it has you can cut out the star, but ask a parent to help you.
That's what I think it is.
He's like, oh, I run everything.
By the way, wild is the only way my mind runs.
Is that your pickup line?
I would say also amok.
That is true. Yeah. No, it's but
I think it is for
Let's
mostly.
test it. Let's test it.
I think we should test. I have it.
But the problem is, once you test it, you don't have it anymore.
Right.
No. You don't give it. It's something you keep and show. It's not
I
like
don't
it's not
think
like
you know the rules
it
of this
is.
PBA.
Brad looked it up.
I vaguely remember looking it up. I don't remember the specifics. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
it is. It's not like a one-time thing.
So what if I just make my own? What if I print it?
You can't
Why?
because there's like holograms and stuff on it.
Are there?
Yeah, there are, and it has all of the information on it.
I don't like that this is a regular thing. Like, I think it's cool that my friend got one, but I don't like what it means and that it's an understood thing. For,
Isn't this an interesting?
Because as we know, ACAB, right? And now they're just handing
out
willy-nilly
Not
bullshit.
ACAB. I don't think ACAB anymore.
That's because it helps
I know
you.
because
That's
now
bullshit.
I'm a cab.
Yeah.
I'm part of a cab. So I didn't
You're
know
a hubcap.
So yeah. So there were like this person was like, right? And I was
Were
like,
they on one knee the
was
way
like,
you're doing it?
I was like, what does this mean? And I looked it up and I was like, because the person said they were going to send it to me.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and I'm like, this is a real thing. And I was like, they're probably not going to really. And it came in the mail. And I was like,
It came in the mail.
And I was like, and yeah, lots of information.
I'm against this.
Well,
I think it's cool that you got one.
Yeah.
But even if I got one, I'd be like, oh no, I'm part of the problem.
I'm
You know
part
what
of
I mean?
the. Well, here's the thing.
The fraternal order of police
Of problems.
Of just like, hey, don't worry about it. Like those videos
The
we
good
see.
old boys network. Chuck's a good old
Yeah,
boy.
this is bullshit where it's like when somebody gets pulled over, you've seen videos of this, like somebody gets pulled over because they're drunk driving.
Yep.
Yes.
Endangering lives.
Which is what
Yes.
I mean. Chuck does it, but sober.
Yeah, and then they are like, well, I am
Jimmy's son.
a deputy sheriff, 3 counties over, or I am a lieutenant in North Carolina. So are we cool? And thankfully, the videos that we've seen, they're like, no, you're 3 times over the legal limit. Get the fuck out of the car.
Right.
But it happens all the time.
I will-
And now Chuck's got his little fucking card.
Yeah. Oh, I've got my card.
This is bullshit.
Well, here's the thing.
I think you should give that to a person of color.
What color? What do you mean?
what?
What are you talking about?
The whitest response I've heard.
what do you mean?
What color
I
is
don't-
his first
I don't
question?
see colors,
What color?
Ray.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I'll say about this. Let's say you got pulled over coming back from your show, right? And a policeman pulls you over. And then
Stolen valor.
well, then he goes like this. He goes, excuse me, and he goes this. He knocks on your window, and you go,
And I roll it down this far, and I go, "Why am I being detained? I become
I'm
a
a
sovereign
sovereign
citizen."
citizen.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
You roll down, you're like, hello. And he goes, oh my God. Ray Harrington? And you're like, yes. And he's like, I was at your show tonight and I went to my job. And and then I came to my work job. And he says,
Work job.
You were going 12 miles over, something, not crazy.
Yeah.
You're at 35, you're going 47, and you go, oh, goodness gracious me. And he's like, you were so funny. Get out of here, kid.
That's
Just
fine.
slow down.
I'll take it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Versus, then he pulls over Brad.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't see you be funny. Here's your ticket. You think that's okay to him? He's not what is that?
Yeah, because
Well-
I have no say in how that cop is working, right? And
But that's the same thing.
No, hang on. I have no say in how they delineate that. I happened to luck out being pulled over by the guy that happened to see me, right? That guy has not also said to me, oh, and by the way, you're so funny. Here's this card.
If you get in trouble,
Because we have a system. That's what I have a problem with.
Okay.
Because we have a system of allowing people to break the law.
Okay.
Because they're cool. We gave you a card. Hey, man, you're cool.
By the way,
you can do crimes.
I like the idea that I'm so cool that I can commit some crimes. That's a good
I like
idea.
that you're seeing it that way. I just mean the system. I think
the
this,
flawed system.
Yeah.
But I
Chuck's
will say
like,
this.
but I'm a beneficiary.
I will say this. I think that the microcosm of you being pulled over and the policeman being like, because I had an impersonal interaction with you and you were funny, I'm going to let you off, is essentially the same thing as these cards eventually.
Eventually.
But it is.
But the example you used,
it's the same specific. I'm a cop. I'm in power. I like you personally, so I'm not going to get you in trouble like someone else. Is the same thing, just on a grander scale.
Yeah, my issue was in that example. There's no system of a thing.
I get it.
And,
I'll say that same cop sent me a card that's an APB card. And I get double trouble.
Oh no,
double trouble.
Double trouble.
No, I get it. The difference is this. We know in this hypothetical situation, it's such a small infraction that he's making a decision that's small, but we don't know in the system version why other people are being given those cards.
And if the police officer in your example for the hypothetical situation handed me a card that said, this is your APB or whatever, your PBA, your DVD CBA. If he handed that to me, again, in the story, I don't have an issue with him letting me get away with going 12 over the limit.
Right.
I have an issue with the card that represents, we've organized this whole system of allowing certain people to be held to a different standard. That's all we're doing. And then I'd be like, okay, who has the cards? Let's take a look at the statistics on the demographics of these card holders.
Probably not great record keeping with these cards.
And I'd like to think that if this officer who gave you that card could see how you've responded getting it, he wouldn't have given it to you.
No, he does. He likes my childlike exuberance.
Oh, he's a pedophile?
Tot jobs. But
he's grooming you. That's what's happening.
What's going to be interesting, and I think we could all agree on this, the moment where I'm put in a spot where I pull it out and have to try to use it is going to be quite hilarious.
It's going to be on the it's going to be on the Chode trip.
You know, it can only make things worse, right? I feel like in your situation, you're like, that's after you've gone through all of your what? What? And because the way you present it, I know you. You will chicken out so hard, and you'll get to that situation, and you'll be like,
I don't know, officer. You know, it's a thing where he's gonna use his Small-ets, and he's gonna be like, let me pull out my license, and he pulls it out, and it's he's like, that's not my license, it's just this PBA card.
That requires too much confidence. I think he's gonna be too nervous the whole time.
And pull it out.
And I think he won't even say anything. He'll just take it and just go,
yeah, you're right. You know what I would do? Here's what I'd do. If a cop pulled me over, if a policeman pulled me over.
What is this, son?
We do have audio, listeners. If a policeman pulled me over,
You ever heard of the
audio?
You ever heard of the PBA?
Well, I'm giving a bonus to the video people. You didn't even let the scene play out. You fucking megalomaniac. You got to let the scene play out.
We were both being sheepish. I was taking it.
He was yes-anding. You were just narrating a different story.
I feel bad for the audios.
I feel bad for everybody.
So I think what I would do is a policeman says, can I have your license and registration?
Yeah.
I give him 2 cards. License and my little get out of jail free card.
Because you didn't get your registration.
I don't have any registration.
This car is stolen.
I like the idea of you trying to use that for anything, right? Like,
I will say, when I got pulled over, though,
yeah.
I mean, when we were all together, that really should have gotten me in some trouble.
Yes.
All those 3 things.
Sure, yeah.
But I was cool as a cucumber. And, well, whatever. We got out of it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Sure.
But, you know, I think that's what I would do. I would just hand both to him in one motion, and he would see the PBA card. So I don't even say, like, hey, I have this thing. You know what I mean?
But do you have the stones? 'Cause here's my thing.
I got no stones.
This is different, but it's the same idea of presentation, right?
Sure.
I would really struggle with like being able to deftly and coolly present the card to this person.
Yeah.
The same way I've been told, like, if you want to get like an upgrade at a hotel,
Yeah.
what you do is you have your credit card and your license and put a 20 or a 50 in between them and slide it to them, right?
Wow.
This is like I heard a whole bunch of tips on how to like do little surreptitious tippy things to get something out of it.
Dude, I've never done anything like that.
I just don't, I would collapse in on myself at the idea of I'm going to slide this over. Because in my head, I'm like, they probably won't do it, but they'll keep my money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Right? Oh, thank you. No, there's nothing we can do. Like, can I have my 50 back?
The closest I've done is the valet, where I put,
Yeah.
you put the $5 bill in your hand and you do the shake.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's the closest I've ever done. And that's like a thing that's
And that's
normal.
just straight up tipping.
It's just tipping.
But this is a little wink and a nudge and a nod.
Yeah.
Can I say where Chuck would be confident in delivering it? He's driving. He looks over. It's a burrito restaurant, and there's a sign that's like 10% off to police and fire. And Chuck's like,
Stolen Valley. He goes in. He goes in with like in fatigue.
yes. It's like, how about
Woo! Just got back from Iraq. Are we still
still
there?
in Iraq?
I don't think so. Maybe you should have said
He's like, how about my
P?
PBA card? Will that get me some guacamole?
Yes, I do think about the idea of me like struggling to use this thing. I don't know.
He has a cardstock purple heart cut out of paper. I got this in Vietnam.
I did. As soon as I got it, I was like, "This is going to be funny when I have to use it."
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be
but
fun.
that tipping question is real. Like, because I've wanted to do it. The closest I ever came was I got the money ready in Bangor, Maine. Right. There's a hotel and they have a presidential suite there. I've made plenty of jokes about what presidents have stayed there.
Right,
You
of
know,
course,
that kind of
yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, he came. He came and he went to the Bolorama.
Yeah.
And they said he was good but not great. You know, it's just stuff like that.
He was an athlete, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
It
but
tracks.
he's too tall for the
he was a
bowling.
wrestler, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do the thing. I was there for some shows, and I'm like, I mean, I'm in a regular room. I know they have the presidential suite. I've been in there before, right? And I tried to do it. I mustered up the courage, and I was like, what's the dollar value here that I would get
Right.
a decent thing? And I went with a 50.
Yeah.
And I had the 50. I went to the ATM like specifically to get a 50.
Oh, all
you
right.
know,
Right.
before the trip, and I was with Derek Furtado, another comedian.
Yeah.
And we were up doing these shows, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try and tip the front desk to get the upgrade.
Yeah.
$50 for 3 nights.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
Yep. Worth it.
That's totally worth it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, here we go. I'm gonna do. We drove like 5 hours to get there. The whole 5 hours, like, all right. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna be cool about it, right? And I was just like, it was an Ocean's moment, right?
Yep.
This is my heist.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being a polite guy is my heist. This is it. I'm
Yep.
terrified. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be a dick.
I know,
I don't want to
I
be
know.
a piece of shit. Going, hey, why don't you do this for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just did the thing where I had it peeking out of the credit card and license. I wanted them to see it because I didn't have the stones to just push it all over.
Yep.
And I had it there, and I'm like, I was hoping to get the upgrade and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to be charming, and they're just like, yeah, I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. And
Yeah.
they clearly saw the money. Thankfully, they didn't take it.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got shot down. I was like, yeah, no, I absolutely.
That's me asking a woman out,
yeah.
except without the
You
money.
have a 50 shot. But I hated it. I hated it, and I felt uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever done a little surreptitious tippy? That sounds gross.
I don't think so. I think I just regular tips where it's
Yeah.
the getting my car detailed or valet or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've done
It's a
anything.
bribe,
It
right?
was
It's a tip bribe. Bribe tip.
at a Pearl
brip.
Jam concert in 2003. My friend bribed an usher to let us into floor seats instead
Yeah.
of our seats. But then I'm like, hey, didn't Pearl Jam have people like crushed to death at a concert because too many people were crowding in? And like it was a horrible tragedy, and now we're contributing to that. Like it just feels awful to be a part of that.
Did that happen that night?
Not that night, because we went back to our seats.
Yeah,
because of
imagine
my
if you guys
guilt.
were down there.
Of
Yeah.
my guilt.
Yeah.
That's
We were down there for the first six
So
songs. It was great.
I'll tell you this. Because I've been working like around
June 18th, 2003, Chicago, Illinois.
I've been working around entertainment for a long time with musicians, comedians, all these different things. So I've had to talk my way into back rooms and in like private areas, or like even like, someone's like, yeah, come to the show, you're on the list.
Yeah.
And then you go.
I hate it.
And then you go, I'm on the list, and then you're not on the list, and you
Yeah.
just have to kind of
Yeah.
try to get in.
Chuck, we've been over this so many times. There is a very specific difference between being on the list
Yep.
and being on a list.
Yeah, well, okay, right. So here's the other one. and this is my ex-girlfriend did this a couple times, if you remember this. She basically, in Photoshop, on her phone, like some version of Photoshop, would create like pit tickets for concerts, like fake ones. And we've used that.
Yeah, we had real tickets, like a PDF or whatever. She'd do a screenshot, edit whatever needed to be edited, and then go down and show it.
And they'd scan it, and it wouldn't work, but it would look legitimate.
Yeah.
So they would give us the wristbands. And I remember for Brad's birthday one year,
Scumbags.
we really wanted Brad to...
Scumbags stealing from hardworking artists.
That's us.
For Brad's birthday, we went down, we got the pit tickets.
Yeah.
We went and we got the bracelets, but they're just like paper bracelets. So one person would stay in the pit, take off their bracelet, give it to the person, and we got it in.
Yeah.
I think it was me and you, her, and Lou.
Yeah.
And we got into pit tickets, and we did that a couple times.
Yeah.
And she made a TikTok at some point about it, about how she did it. As kind of like a funny thing more than anything.
A pit ticket TikTok?
Yep.
And it got 500,000 views overnight one night.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to get in trouble for this. And she deleted it.
Yeah, and she got a knock on the door, and it was Ticketmaster.
It was
Yeah.
Joe Jonas.
TikTok, Ticketmaster.
and
Pit
they went,
ticket.
TikTok.
No, I mean,
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, sneaking down to a pit is not a big deal.
No, but I'm saying like that classic.
I've never done a bribe.
You
I've
know,
never bribed
we'd like
anyone.
to get a table now.
I'll
That
say-
kind
I'll
of
s-
classic
No, I
tip.
I keep 100 in my fat wallet for if my car is going to be towed and I like it's on the tow truck or whatever, and I'm like
to get it off?
to get it off the tow truck because
Wow.
tow fees are going to be more than that.
you
Because
think you could do
years
it, though?
years ago?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
in that case, I would have no problem directly saying.
Yeah, I
kind of
suppose
what would
if
it
you're
take?
facing the issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Years and years,
Yeah,
and like
right.
2000, 2001, my friend's car got towed and it was on the tow truck, and they're like, no, it's $120 just to like undo it.
Yeah.
And so we like, we're all college or very recent post college, and so we're all like, scrambling to get $120. And
Right.
so I'm like, no, I'm never going to be in that situation. I'm never going to put myself in that situation. So I've always carried extra cash with me.
The difference
in my
is
fat wallet.
The difference is, I think,
I carry 100. It's in quarters though.
when you're trying to
That's a fat fucking wallet.
when you're trying to bribe, it's like, here's where we are. We're
Yeah.
trying to get a special thing.
Yeah.
It is different than being like, oh no, this thing is going to affect me negatively.
Right. Let
How
me
do I get out
this.
of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, help
different.
me out. Please.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
I don't
think
think
about
any bribes in my past.
I think about Chuck saying like, and it's weird because I don't know that I can point to a specific example, but it is more likely of Chuck being like, hey, is there any chance we could get that presidential suite? Is that available? Like kind of an idle ask.
Yeah.
More so
I've done
than
that. I do that basically with every hotel.
Yeah,
Like, I always
try to
ask for an upgrade.
Yeah.
I try to do different things like that
Yeah.
where I'm just kind of like, my
Oh, it sure would be nice to have a bigger bed.
my method would just be kind of being like, hey, I'm just being honest. We all know everyone would like an upgrade. Like,
Yeah,
do you think this is possible? Something like that would be more my speed. Or like,
Yeah.
I've gone to things where we had bad tickets, and like, if I know that there's some sort of upgrade system, I'll ask like, how does that work? Blah blah blah.
You know what I think helps really well too? At the front desk, just cry.
well,
Cry.
I do that like because I miss my cat.
Oh yeah. but that's different. That's very different.
Those are different
Yeah.
tiers.
Then they don't do the upgrade because
No,
they
no,
feel bad for you in a different way.
Yeah. Then they're like, let's call someone.
Yeah.
And then the cop shows up, and I'm like, here's my APB card, and he's like, no, you're under arrest now.
No, what they
He's
do
like,
is they give
"You're
you
Charles Staton."
they give you the presidential suite at a different hotel. just go.
Just
it's fine.
We'll pay. Just
Yeah.
tell them to
Room
bill
service
us.
is on us as
Yeah.
well.
Can I
yeah.
say one more thing about you getting that coin?
Sure.
I think it's great to remember that some people are having a bad day and you help them out,
Yes.
whether it's on stage or in a movie or in a podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think one thing to remember as well is even if someone's not having a bad time and they're like, Brad, you were so funny in this improv show, or Ray, you were so funny on stage, even if it's just enhancing their already good night or their normal night,
yeah.
it's actually, I think, just as important.
Yes.
In terms of
Sure.
creating like an overall feeling of happiness in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's not a contrast, even if it's just enhancing, I think it's great.
Yeah,
And
I
important.
think it's interesting too because I think that idea, that aspect of remembering like the audience as a thing,
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason I love to riff on stage is because it's an organic moment. It's a moment that won't exist again.
Right.
Right.
You can be in the same room. doing a show with the same amount of people, but it's a different group of people. It's a different show.
Right.
And so I do love those moments. And I think at its core, if you scrape away all the bullshit of like career stuff and pursuit and what it means for success or fame, because now we're at a place where in order to have the success, you need the fame. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you scrape away all of that shit, if all the technology went away, if everything went away and it was just traveling troubadour bullshit, right? If it was just, it's medieval times and I'm walking village to village telling jokes, right? There is an element of that connection, that human connection, that I think the animal brain part of us, like, that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
I don't want to be. I'm being so cheesy right now.
I think that.
Sorry, can I take that again?
There's world for cheese.
Because I think we need to bring in like a younger audience.
Sure. Yeah.
Let me just take that again.
Sure.
I'm being so chuggy. It's just really chuggy.
Yeah.
No cap. I'm being chuggy.
Is chuggy? That's what it means.
Yeah.
Really?
Chuggy's like
I say gauche. You ever hear gauche?
Yeah.
I like saying gauche.
Yeah, that's not going to bring us a younger audience, though.
yeah.
I
No.
think it's just eclectic.
That's gonna bring. You know what that's gonna bring? That's gonna bring goofy fans.
Yeah.
We already have goofy fans.
Gauche. You know what I mean? That's so dumb.
That was a weird joke.
That was so dumb.
No, I mean, I think that there's
There's a beautiful part of like the human element of performing
Yes.
a thing and doing a thing and creating a positive escape.
Yeah, whenever your goal is, I want to make other people happy in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something to be appreciated about that all the time.
Yeah, like that, and that. But the downside is it feeds into my also my feeling of like failing to do that, like in this particular episode.
Because you're being honest,
because I'm being honest, and because we sort of rambled through some stuff. We did a QVC at the beginning. I regret.
I have a lot of fun with the killing.
I'm worried about. That little clip will be played in court.
Well, I was going to say, for entertainment purposes, for people who are far away from us, positive. Now, we're going to have a talk afterwards about, the realness of it.
Limits, boundaries, realistic expectations.
But people do appreciate the honesty, too.
Oh, the bullet seems to be stuck in this.
What the hell?
Oh, by the way, while I was in Maine, I said earlier, I buried the lead here. They had me.
Don't bury things in Maine.
You never do that. They always come back. They always come back.
Oh, can I? I'm sorry. It's just a Maine thing.
Okay.
They're doing an It prequel series on HBO.
Yeah, welcome
what is
to
up with
Derry.
that?
Oh.
What does that mean, though? What does It prequel series mean?
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Because, like, I guess I'm not the biggest, like, I read the book guy. I didn't read the book, and I watched both of the versions of the movie. And it's an alien that came to Earth and lived there for a long time and does this thing every once in a while.
So it'll probably be a series about, it happened before.
The first time it
happened. It'll be like
happened?
a period piece. Yeah.
I mean, I think
It'll be like the 50s.
I just didn't know because you guys read Stephen King books, Brad especially. I didn't know if there is anything to go from in terms of lore.
Read. I've written shit.
Everyone in Stephen King is Maine's hive mind.
I just didn't know if
Everyone
there was,
in
like,
Maine contributes. There's
like the turtles back and all that stuff.
There's lore in the books of like, these are different times that Pennywise has, feasted on the town. And these disasters that have befallen the town.
And the kids look it up and they essentially see these historical events.
And so I don't know. I've only seen the headlines that Welcome to Derry is going to be an HBO Max series and it's a prequel series to it. And so I'm like, well, we know how it ends.
I do. I mean,
poorly for Pennywise.
I to be honest, I loved It 2017. I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the best studio horror movies I've seen in a long time, like big budget studio horror movies.
Sure, yeah.
As opposed to something like Barbarian, which is a lot more independent, and I like a lot. And the second one, even though I didn't like it as much as the first, I thought they did a really good job. Yeah. So I'm like, man, if it's the same team, that'd be cool. The guy is Alexander Skarsgård, something like that.
Played Pennywise.
It's one of the Skarsgårds, yeah.
He's killer. He's excellent. He's very, very good at this character. And I don't know. I part of me is excited and part of me is like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stephen King adaptations run the gamut.
Yeah, they
really do.
And so I will withhold judgment until we see a little more.
It'll never get better than Bronson Pinchot ripping paper in the Langoliers.
Did you see the new Pet Cemetery?
No.
It was.
I have no interest. Can I be honest with you? I didn't see the second iteration of It.
I thought you didn't see the first one.
I saw the first one.
You did?
Yes.
I thought you told me you didn't watch it.
No. I mean, I watched it as an adult, so maybe we talked about it before I did see it.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And I just had no interest in seeing the new version, and every trailer made me go, this isn't what I want. Tim Curry was fantastic. I like that version. It's good. There's no reason to do this again. I'm gonna be like a downer about it. There's no fucking reason.
Well,
Same with Pet Cemetery.
There's money that Stephen King doesn't have,
exactly.
though.
I disagree with. There's no reason to do the Tim Curry version again because the Tim Curry version is so sanitized and so of its time that it feels like very captured in the 80s.
Well, it was a television miniseries.
Exactly.
So
Well, but
it has those rules to abide.
Exactly. So that's the reason to do it again. Is what
I mean, if you want to do it, but like also,
But
they
yeah, no,
basically, all the beats are going to be the same.
Well, that's the thing. It's interesting to be like, to try to figure out. It's something I always think about is like, why do a reboot ever? I always wonder, why do a reboot?
Just add in a cha-ching sound over and over.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
That would make no sense to me to do a reboot, even though I think Raiders of the Lost Ark is a piece of its time. I don't think it should be redone because it's a real specific relationship between an actor, a director, all these different things.
Yeah.
But I wonder about things like...
But that's talking about
something too
having
big?
characters that have actors that are like, they are the iconic thing of that.
That's what I'm
Indiana
wondering.
Jones is Harrison Ford.
Right.
Like, you can't just have another guy be like, I'm Indiana Jones now. It never works.
I know.
Like that's not what
I've tried.
See, this is a question, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit more in the Chuck and Brad podcast. All three of us,
Yeah.
Like there are reboots that are, to me, the definitive versions that I think are the best version. Like I think The Thing 1982 is like one of my favorite thrillers, if not my favorite thriller. But that is a reboot. That is a remake, and I wonder, when is it appropriate and when is it not? Because I think some movies, like Dawn of the Dead 2003, is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
And I wonder about, well, how come some are good and some are bad?
Let me put it this
and
way.
not so much how come some are good or some are bad, because that's an easy question to answer. But how do you know when they announce something like Welcome to Derry?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it possible to be another The Thing 1982?
Right.
It could be.
Sure. I think in a lot of cases, I mean, we're at a point now where when something is announced,
Yeah.
enough stuff has come before it that we've seen play out.
I know.
That we do have a rough idea of what it's going to be like, right? Like if you eat those berries in the woods 14 times and 12 times you had crippling diarrhea,
That's the thing.
you're going to avoid those berries.
That's
Not me.
This is the
You love those
That's
berries.
actually, I think that's a pretty good.
They're called
diarrhea bears.
bradberries.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding. That's actually a pretty good ratio for what happens when these reboots come out.
Yes, yeah.
2 out of 14 are
Right.
pretty good.
Right, and
like
it's
Chip and
just-
Dale was great.
Sure, but
Chips.
that's a different thing. It's like it's a different idea.
I think. Well, here's the thing. I almost think that whenever they do a good reboot, it is because they go in a
because
direct,
it's different.
Because
Exactly.
it's different.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Dawn of the Dead, The Thing, Chip and Dale, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Even 21 Jump Street, which I think is very
Sure,
funny,
but
is
that's
like
almost like a parody of the thing
it's
that they were
something,
doing.
yeah. But it's like, let's take the idea of capitalizing on this thing that people like,
Right.
and what can we do to make it new and different?
Yeah.
And I think that is essentially the way to do it.
For sure. I
But
absolutely.
I also
absolutely
think
agree.
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, so when I hear there's going to be like this is the first time I'm hearing there's going to be
Welcome
a
to
prequel
Derry.
series
Yeah.
of it. I'm
Yes.
just like okay, I'm not going to watch it unless like and this isn't me being like so firm about being a downer.
Yeah.
If I hear from people that have like film and movie opinions and TV opinions that I
Respect.
trust and
Right.
you know
Like.
match up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I'm going in default like I don't need to watch it unless I hear it's awesome. I'm good.
Can I tell you-
And that's how I felt about the new It movies.
Do you-
Nothing about it interested me, and anything I heard about it afterwards didn't make me go, maybe I want to see it.
This is funny.
Somebody's a scaredy cat.
Me and Brad had a conversation right before you came here, and it actually ties into this. which is the eternal optimism thing that I struggle with because I want to be like, I bet this will be great, but so much stuff is not.
Yeah.
Like I asked you if you saw the Pet Sematary remake.
Yeah.
I think whoever the director is did a great job in terms of tone, but it's really not good at all.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it was good.
Well, also, I already know the story. I've been shown the story. Got it. I don't need it again.
Well,
You know what I mean?
but
I saw Pet Cemetery 2 when that came out, which
Ooh.
is
Nuts.
I saw that
But
movie.
that's different.
That's ridiculous. But I was young enough where I'm like, whoa, he's gonna shred his face with the tire of a dirt bike.
Yep.
You know
Pet
what I mean?
Sematary,
Sure, fine.
Pet Cemetery 2 is like a kooky 80s sequel, is how I would.
90s.
91.
It's very 90s.
Well,
It's-
whatever. Late 80s, early 90s. It's in that wheelhouse.
It's post, isn't it post Terminator 2?
I don't know. But I'm
pretty sure.
It's a pretty low budget, let's make a kooky 80s movie out of this thing.
Sure, and I was happy to have it. Why not?
Yeah.
But that's different. That's a whole different
totally
thing.
different. But that's what I wonder about. I wonder about the idea of like even the retelling story stuff.
Yeah.
And not that I continue to watch The Walking Dead, but Robert Kirkman, who made The Walking Dead, when it was first coming on and people really liked it, but some people were really mad that it deviated from the comics, his whole stance was like, if they do an adaptation of something that is popular, the wrong move would be to do it exactly the same. The right move is to change things. And I think The Last of Us, that's currently airing, is actually a great example of that because I love the Last of Us video game, the first one.
Sure.
I didn't play the second one yet. I want to. And I think the series is killer. I think that they're killing it with the series. I think it's great. And I think there is a place for that kind of adaptation. And I don't know exactly what the reason always is. Obviously, with something like an HBO show versus a video game on PlayStation 11 years ago.
Well, yeah,
it's a different audience.
Yeah,
it's a different medium.
Well, I mean, by definition,
just
you
different.
have to. It's going to be different.
It's going to be different. But I do wonder about the Rescue Rangers reboot, the Dawn of the Dead, the Thing, and the Pet Sematary reboot, and the ones that failed. And it's so hard to make a judgment of, is this going to be one of the two berries that is great?
Yeah.
Right. It's so difficult.
Yeah. It is interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
It could be good.
You know, when they announced like, oh, we're going to do a Watchmen series, I wasn't
Yeah.
interested.
But I heard the
at
Watchmen
all.
series-
It was
and
fantastic.
and then I heard
So-
it was fantastic,
so-
so I watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this was fantastic.
So why
and I
is
was like,
the
Chuck,
Watch-
you need to watch it. And he's like,
Yeah.
nope.
Nope.
I'm waiting
I would-
for Derry
I would
Girls.
never. Yeah,
The Derry Girls is a different show. That's nothing to do with this.
that's correct.
Correct.
Yes. That's not it, right?
No.
A little bit?
Although, if it showed up in Derry Girls, I would watch Derry Girls. Absolutely. Oh, look at these Irish girls going through the troubles. Isn't this fun? It's a fun family show about Irish girls
Can I
in the troubles.
Oh, this one is following a boat.
Can I ask? Can I ask a question that's?
They all float down here.
Can I ask a question that's? It's not an attack. I just want to ask.
Sure, yeah.
When they announced, "Hey, we're going to do a Watchmen series now,"
Yeah.
did you have the same feelings that you have now about the It series?
No.
Why is that?
Because the showrunner, who I'm drawing a blank on right now, but I liked the showrunner and I liked the Watchmen comics,
Which is different.
and didn't love the Watchmen movie. So because it's just impossible to tell that story
Yeah.
in one movie,
Right.
I don't really like the Watchmen movie either. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the story is too complicated to tell in a movie length. So I was like, oh, okay, the series might have time.
So you look at it as almost like they tried to do an adaptation and it wasn't really the perfect venue for it.
Right.
And because of that, it didn't do super well. But this might be a venue where it is able to do this justice.
Yeah, and so
Right.
and then when I watched the show, I was pleasantly surprised
Right.
that it wasn't covering the comic.
Right.
That
Right.
this was a different story.
Interesting.
And the story was really good, and
Yeah.
I really like what they did with the show. I was bummed that it was over, but
Yes.
I understood. It was one of those shows where when the season was over, I was like, it'll probably get another season unless they don't want to.
Right.
And if they get another one, great. It's all extra. It's all gravy.
Yes.
This was good enough.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I love a show that hits that mark. Another one was oh no, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, you told me about that.
That show, that season of television was so fucking good. Lovecraft Country is amazing, right? It made me fall in love with this actor, Jonathan Majors. I love this guy.
Yep.
I think he's a fantastic actor. He's
Kang.
in the new
He's the villain
Marvel
in
stuff.
Creed 3 as well.
Yes, that's right.
the antagonist.
And it's a bummer that he's playing like bad guys in stuff where it's like, no, this dude is so good.
Oh, he's excellent in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Sure.
Like just his performance. It's funny because watching the Avengers movies, it's like, is it James Brolin or Josh Brolin? Who plays Thanos? One of the Brolins.
Josh.
I know. Isn't that weird? Which Brolin?
James.
Brolin.
I don't know.
Well, just call him Brolin.
Yeah, all right, Brolin.
Like,
No, I think it's Josh Brolin.
Might be.
don't you think that he's far and away the best and most emotive villain that they've had in these
Well, that's because that character had fucking depth.
I think so too. But
So
like,
many villains in most superhero movies, unfortunately, do not have depth.
Yes.
Do not
No,
have
that was-
a reasonable
Totally.
motivation for what they're doing.
I
and stuff
agree,
like that.
but I think that
DC is struggling so bad with that.
oh, for sure. But
Yeah.
Kang,
And now all their villains are the actors that play the characters.
I honestly,
What if the Flash had to stop Ezra Miller?
I mean, I don't know if the Penguin show is going to be good, but I loved Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Oh, he was fantastic.
I loved
yeah.
it. But I think that Kang is like, I'm like, this guy is already on par with the performance of Thanos.
Yeah, no, he just gets me excited to see what he does. He was great.
He's awesome.
He was great in Lovecraft Country. He was fantastic in the Spike Lee Netflix movie, Six Brothers or something Six Sons. I can't remember the name of it. I apologize, but he was great in that. But he's wonderful. And Lovecraft Country was that show where I hope they make more.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if this was it, perfect.
Well, this is
it's
one of those things where like the first season of Westworld to me was fucking A+.
Let's not talk about Westworld.
Don't do that. Don't turn it into a thing. Westworld season 1 is
What kind of
excellent.
thing? What would the thing be that I'm turning it into?
I don't want it to be like, well, Westworld.
Turn off the cameras. What kind of thing?
I really think. I mean, I have a theory about why Westworld failed after season 1
Yeah.
in terms of storytelling.
So do I.
But
Mine's easy.
But season 1 is excellent.
Yeah.
By itself, I really do think it is.
Sure, yeah,
And
I agree.
it almost bums me out
Yeah.
that it went in the direction it did.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever enjoyed the culmination of a season of television as much as I did the finale of Westworld season 1.
Have you seen Desperate Housewives?
But here's the thing.
Have you seen Sane Elsewhere?
But that's based on
Have you seen Real Housewives of Orlando?
the Westworld movie.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird. It's such a weird thing where it's like, what are they going to do? But they just took it, and I guess it's the same thing we were talking about, where they do the new thing with the concept.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, the key.
Real quick, the thing I will say about Westworld, and I think at this point, people that watched it know.
Yeah.
And I heard it gets better.
I did too.
And then but I was like, no, I already wasted time on this show. When did I dip? I dipped after season 3.
I think I did. I think I didn't.
I think there's only season
Oh,
4.
then I
No, there's season 4. There's season
Yeah.
4.
That's
Okay,
what
so I
I'm saying.
dipped after season 3, and I was like, I'm not going back. I'm done. This show doesn't know what it's doing. This show doesn't know what story it's telling. I'm done.
Yes.
And it's gotten so far away from what the show was supposed to be.
Yeah, season 3 was a Terminator show.
Well, like, yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
With a made-up world with new characters that had no
Ties.
stakes or value to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whatever. Yeah.
Also, the show became so away from its core premise of what it is and the name of the fucking show.
I know.
It's equivalent to going to the store and going, oh, Cheerios. I needed Cheerios. Let me put that in my basket. And then going home and the next morning going, oh yeah, my cereal. Good. Cheerios. Can't wait to have Cheerios. And it's not like you pour it and you go, oh, these are plain. I bought Honey Nut.
Yeah.
Right.
Or, oh, these are those weird chocolate and peanut butter ones. Or, hey, this is Lucky Charms.
Yeah, yeah.
It's opening it and just pouring out like
A buffalo
plastic utensils. And it's like, what? Here's, because the show, this is what gets me. Westworld's premise
Yes.
is a show where there is a theme park, however exclusive or inexclusive. It doesn't matter.
Chuck got in with his PBA card.
Yeah, exactly. And Chuck's just like, you mean I get to shoot and fuck anything?
They were like,
I
they were
want to
like,
live here.
Listen, we thought everything that could be done to Dolores had been done.
Yeah. They shut the park down after Chuck.
Just
Chuck
guys in
bankrupts Westworld.
just hazmat suits walking, just spraying everything.
The other humans in the park are killing themselves. What do we do?
The robots committed suicide.
Yeah. When they saw Chuck Staten, they have facial recognition and they short circuited. They went, and their heads popped off.
These violent
And also their
delights.
sexual organs.
Violent ends. Violent ends.
Oh, it's so funny. But the premise of the show, and I've bitched about this with you when it was shifting.
Yes.
The premise of the show is you have this theme park of robots, and then the robots go bad. Great.
Yep. Just like
let me
Itchy
live
and
there.
Scratchy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when the show was airing, it was towards the turn of like all of these fucking robot shows and movies.
Sure.
Where everything's an android, and I think for me personally, the lazy storytelling is, what does it mean to be human? Right? When a robot has thoughts and feelings, isn't it alive? And it's like, yeah, cool. We've had so many movies and TV shows deal with that very thing, right? The robot now has thoughts and feelings and is alive. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a living creature?
Yeah.
Short Circuit. Short Circuit 2.
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder 2. This time she's hot. No!
Executive producer.
Chuck Staten.
Brad, the tot job roar.
Chuck calls us and he's just like, have you guys seen the trailers for Mithrigan? Have you seen the trailers for Mithrigan? What's the deal with that super hot girl? She's a child. She's a child. What? No. Did you see the trailer? Anyway, my point is, like, there was a lot. I think that area of talking about like cyborgs and androids it has been overdone. The question of being alive.
Yeah.
And I was so excited about Westworld, where I was
too.
like, cool, the core premise of this thing is going to be interesting. Please, I can accept if they're living and they have their own thoughts or whatever,
Right, yeah.
which they do in the show, even in season 1.
Season 1, yeah.
Great. Absolutely fine. Let's play, right?
right.
Let's not get bogged down in what does it mean to be alive? I have thought, okay, we fucking get it. You know what I mean? It's just, it didn't interest me. And what I was excited about was Westworld was a premise where it was like Jurassic Park, but with robots.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. And then the show got away from that. And I'm like, I was so bummed because I'm like, if I want this story, there are multiple options for me in movies and in television and in books and in comic books that I can play with, video games, everything that I can play with and wrestle with that question and think about that and look at and examine angles of storytelling through those things, right?
Yeah.
There's a million options. You know what there's 0 options for? The theme park with robots that go crazy.
Yeah.
Give me what you sell me. You know what I mean?
I think Westworld.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think Westworld season 1 had like basically like, let's call it 5 story arcs that were just perfectly weighted, and they gave you the perfect reveals, and they culminated in the perfect time all together. It was. I watched it once through like Brad, me, a bunch of people, and then I watched it once through again with 2 new people that I really like, and watched them experience all the twists and turns and the conclusion.
Yeah,
and it's like perfect. And my personal opinion on what happened is just Westworld season 1 was very expensive, and they said HBO said we're going to make season 1. And I think it's Jonathan Nolan was a writer and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, so let's craft these 8 to 10 episodes, whatever it is. And that's the whole story. And we may never get to tell more of this. So it has to start here and it has to end here and we're done. Then they're like, wow, Westworld is so popular. You get 4 more seasons. So then you get a team of writers. Let's say it's the same exact team even. And instead of stretching a story across 8 to 10 episodes, now you have to stretch it across at least 4 more years between, let's say, 32 to 40 episodes. And then a quarter of the way, every single time, you have to come to some version of a conclusion.
Yeah.
So what happens is it's just so muddled to actually figure out what that journey is going to be that I think by the end of season 2, let's say even, you're just not satisfied at all because you're essentially 25% of the way into a new story.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to
And in
balance that.
In this particular case, that new story did not mesh with the original thing,
Right.
and was being told poorly.
I think
you know what I
that's-
mean.
I think that's a big part of it.
I
Yeah.
don't want to understate. I do think at its core, the writing that was happening, was not right for that show and wasn't great. Like there was
think you're right.
just basic storytelling elements of that show where you would get to a point where you're like, I don't know. It's been like 2 episodes since I saw that person.
Yeah.
And I don't care about what they're doing. What were they doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
It felt
why
like-
are they talking to that person? Because
Right.
that person looks. Oh my God! I'm so sorry. They look identical to this other person.
This is my. I really feel like
That's
Westworld.
what happens whenever Ray sees 2 people of color on the screen.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
not right.
so
that's not fair.
That's Brad's joke.
It's rude.
So
it's rude.
here's what I really
just
think.
because I said Stephen Urkel and Stefan Urkel were the same guy.
One is cool and one is not cool, right?
They
There's no
embody the
way
same
they're cool.
physical space. They embody the same physical space.
So-
you will never see Stefan and Stephen in the same room together. You know why? Because they're the same person. Okay? Bruce Wayne and Batman, same guy. Okay?
That's
and
never
I know
been
you don't
proven.
believe me, but he's the same fucking guy.
Let us not forget Urkbot. So Westworld season 1.
Is he human? What if he has feelings?
What does it mean?
It really feels like if you looked at like all the.
Did I think that?
Did I feel that?
Did I feel that?
Westworld season 1. It's like
Hello, Carl.
It's like a positive infection. Listen to this,
Yeah.
ready? And the further they got from that is how it kind of went down. Where it's like
Yeah.
the beginning of season 2, where it's like there's a samurai world. And
Yeah, man.
now they had some great threads to go in. They're reusing the
Yeah.
storylines. And even the idea that, you know how they had those brains that now people are putting their own memories so they
Sure.
can preserve their life. That's a good story thread.
That made me really nervous because
tough.
when I saw that,
Yeah.
and it did bear out. My concern was accurate, right?
I never watched it past like season 3, episode 2. I'd
Well,
say.
as soon as they introduced, they had metal balls that were robot brain memories and shit, and they could put them in other people, and this person could secretly be a whole other person. I went, you have made this so convoluted.
It did get
and
convoluted.
You've given yourselves the cheapest outs in the world.
Well, you know-
I'm done, because they could write plots
Yes.
where you get to a point and then they go, no, it turns out it was Kevin all along.
You know what I think would've-
Kevin was actually Shirley, who was pretending to be Dominic, and now you know what I mean?
Here's what I think. I think, you know, like let's say like each robot does have the memory thing, the brain, let's call it.
Yeah.
I think instead of saying, "Oh, we can put any human's brain into this robot brain and they could be them," I think it should have been a person that worked there trying to figure out if they can do that. That way, it's not just a thing they can rely on whenever
Right,
they
right.
want. It's an idea,
It was-
and maybe you see
yeah,
seeds
sure.
of it working and seeds of it not working.
Yes, and
which
that
have
would
been
be
awesome.
interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
I want to see a robot go and having like foam coming out of their mouth. It's like, oh, it didn't work again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it does bum me out when I see things like that. Those are, to me, I look at like an element of when they introduce that, I go, oh, a little red flag has popped up.
I know.
And it's a lazy writing
I know.
red flag where it's like, you can use this to undo anything you do from here on out. Now that you've introduced this, it's the equivalent of it was all a dream, right?
This I think about this all the time in writing. I'm not going to go deep into it because I don't think it's fun. Like we could have
It
fun.
hasn't been
Yeah.
fun for 31 minutes.
It is fun. I think the three of us could talk about what I'm about to bring up for a long time, but I do see these elements of writing like you're talking about. Like I think it was all a dream is the perfect example
I used
of
to
the
read
worst.
Word Up magazine.
Is the worst example of what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a lazy storytelling thing to undo or to create fake whatever. And my number one, I don't like this element of storytelling, which is used all the time, is, well, this is this guy's son. It's his son. Like this guy, this main character, he died.
Yeah,
And in this new one,
yeah.
it's his son, so we care about the son.
Right.
Where it's like, it's just a new character.
Yeah.
I know that we have to accept that. It's the basis of Star Wars. You know what I mean? All
The
this different-
Bible.
It's I mean, well, even Top Gun, the new one, sort of.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
it's really more about the relationship between Tom Cruise and trying to protect his friends.
plane.
You know what I mean? No.
Oh, sorry.
Trying to protect his
yes.
friend
Yeah, I know.
in the future. And so I think that's more artfully done and more thoughtfully done, and there actually is emotionality based in the original characters.
1 second. Tower, I think my plane is having thoughts and feelings.
Oh, Tower, my plane said it's horny.
Tower, whose brain did you upload into this plane?
Well, I'm hearing Chuck Satan.
Their two hands with guns come to the pilot. But I do think the idea of story elements that make your stakes drop are really interesting to discuss.
Oh, for sure. Like
you know?
another example of like that. It was all a dream kind of thing. That's usually a rug pull.
Yeah.
Where we reveal it later to back out of stuff. I see it when they're dropping just in case little hatches, which is what they did in Westworld. Because I truly don't think the people in charge, the showrunner and anyone in the writers' room knew where that show was going or what they were doing.
I don't think they could. I think that's one of the problems of being like, we're writing a show that's going to last for the next 5 years.
But I think they dropped those little seeds so they could go back if they need to, right?
Yeah.
I don't like when I'm watching something that clearly I'm like, there's no need to invest here. We talked about this. You watched Ted Lasso.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful show.
Season 3 coming out very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the fall and hopefully the re-rise of a young man who I forgot his name. Nate. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In season 2, they had written the 10 episodes that were going to air. Right? 10?
Yeah. I don't know if it was they wrote 8. Yeah, maybe they wrote 10 and then Apple or whoever came back and said we need 12.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And there
so
were
they
2
wrote
filler
10.
episodes.
Yeah, they wrote 10. They had them ready to go. Apple said we want 12 episodes. And Sudeikis and the rest of the team looked at it and they were like, well, we can re-break the 10 episodes. We can scrap this and go through and figure it all out. And instead, they just went, we'll do 2 episodes that are standalone. They fit outside the narrative. So they did like a Christmas special.
Yep.
And then they did an episode that was very clearly from the beginning, you knew what you were in for.
Yeah.
Was a dream sequence episode.
Right.
I think
where they took a guy. Hold on, real quick.
I was going to say, I think that's acceptable if it's kind of established ahead of time.
Yeah. It's not a rug pull, sure. It's not cheap in that way. However, they do the thing where the stuff's happening and it's all surreal. It's above reality. Things are happening that don't make sense. And this character is kind of going down the rabbit hole of this situation, right? And immediately when I saw that, I realized, the next 30 minutes don't matter. They mean nothing. And I understand the idea of examining that character a little more. Mm-hmm. I think there's value to the idea of that.
Yes.
Sure.
Right.
Perhaps in another way of doing it, it would have been more interesting. But this character, I also think by design, you don't want to have too much of this character's
they need to
inner
live in the mystery a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it when Roy Kent says swear words.
That's fair.
That's why I watch the show.
How did you...
That's fair. That gets you a little...
Yeah.
Gets you going.
We'll end after this. I love talking about writing and I love talking about this kind of stuff and making things feel satisfying. How did you feel about the Sopranos dream episodes? Because I really appreciate those. But they're so presented as...
That's very different because
it is. It's about someone's...
It's so baked into what the show is. I mean, this is a show where the premise ultimately at the beginning was what if a mob boss went to therapy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We could see that.
Yeah, and we see the process and get into the mind of this guy.
Yes.
Later we got Breaking Bad. What if we get it? What if we see from the very beginning into a monster?
Yes.
And the whole thing with Tony Soprano is he's a monster. Let's look at that. Let's examine it. So doing dream episodes with this guy who's going through like psychological issues the entirety of the show, that makes total sense.
Yeah, basically,
I'm on board for that.
Yeah. Towards the end of the show, they had a couple dream episodes, 2 in a row, where basically it was almost what if he had chosen not to go into this life and he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're presented as an elevated, strange reality from the get-go, so you know that you're in for something that's different.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit more insight into how he looks at other people in his life.
Right.
So
And
that's really artful.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that anything that is surreal is bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think
I
there's
agree.
there's stuff that's fantastic that's like that. You can have a show that's like it makes little to no sense and still be really great
About something.
I mean, Twin Peaks,
Right,
stuff
exactly,
like
Twin
that,
Peaks, yes.
or any kind of show where you're like, wow, this is a head fuck of a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Twin Peaks written again with no idea of where it's going, and,
Yeah.
and the
Right.
ultimate villain is cast because he was accidentally caught in a reflection at the end of season 1.
Is that true?
He was a crew member. Yeah, and he was like accidentally caught on camera.
I don't know this
That's
story.
how I started my porn career.
Yeah, in a weird reflection.
Yeah. That's what they called me.
They put me on the cover.
They called me Weird Reflection.
Yes. And so that's how they, maybe they had an idea of kind of what the villain was going to be, but
Yeah.
like the specific person who ended up acting as that villain was a crew member who was accidentally caught in a shot.
That's beautiful. That's
And his
amazing.
catchphrase was, huh? What? Me?
His catchphrase is this. Huh?
Oh, sorry. What, me? Huh? Huh? I love the idea of a devil being like the devil being like, huh? What?
And all along, it was the coffee guy?
Like it's Kaiser
he has
Soze is a
4
fucking moron, right? What happened here, Verbal Kent? I didn't do it.
I mean,
I was with my friend Coffee Cup,
The guy,
and he saw a telephone
they have this amazing
and went
show.
to a desk.
They have this amazing show. And they're like, it's going to be him. He was in the reflection. And he's just the worst actor ever.
Yeah.
You will back and you will follow me. And he's like, cut, take 3. I think that's a very strange story. and
Do I
like it.
say action? Or do you say it?
no, don't look into the camera. Don't look. No, don't.
That one?
No, don't.
Okay.
Just pretend you're talking to someone over here, away from the camera.
Okay.
But don't. All right, and action.
I'm confused.
Okay.
So, but real quick.
Cut.
So in this scene, I'm supposed to be talking to the character Greg,
Yeah.
but that's Chris.
Yeah.
His
Chris
real
is
name
the
is Chris.
stand-in.
you want to pretend Chris is Greg.
Okay.
Right. He's
but
still
I don't like Greg.
right. You don't like Greg.
But I like Chris.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
This
Just-
is my conflict.
Doesn't Chris
And-
like me?
Yeah. And I've been reading a book, and it says conflict is good for stories.
Yes.
So, can I be mean to Chris?
All right. You want to be mean. Your character, not you. You
Not
want to be.
me.
You want to. Well, all right. So the character you're
But
playing.
I'm doing a method.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. You want to yell at the boom guy for 15 minutes?
I choked. I choked a coyote to death
Okay.
last night
Okay. That was not.
because I'm playing the devil. And I
Yeah.
felt like I should probably
Do something.
do
evil.
something evil.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
is the other boom guy, the guy that replaced you.
Yeah. And I'll be honest.
He sees a mirror. He's like,
So that brings me to my second point, which
Okay.
is we got to do something about all these cuts on my hands. From the
We're going to dress
coyote.
all the crew members in green bodysuits
Quick
so we can cut them out just
What
in
if
case.
the devil had mittens? Because I got to cover these cuts.
We'll have
from the
make.
coyote.
We'll take care of them in post. Right
right.
now, pretend that
right.
you are mad at Greg. No, again, don't look
I'm
into the
looking at
camera.
the camera. No? All right. Fuck you, Greg. Is that it?
We'll take it. I'm David Lynch. I can get away with this.
what if the devil?
It was all intentional.
What if the devil had an extreme dust allergy? Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good then. That's good. Quick question about this next scene.
Yeah.
It says he has his shirt off.
Yes.
I'm not
No,
comfortable with that.
Okay. You signed a clause on your contract that you were okay with this.
Oh,
Are you going to
because
go
I
back?
never
on-
had to take my shirt off when I was just a crew guy.
Yeah. No. That's again. We went over this.
Can we green screen it? Yeah, and we'll do it in post. We'll post it.
You know the word?
Yeah, we'll
Post.
do post.
Okay.
It'll be a post shirt.
All right.
So-
We're going to use deep fake technology to put your face on an actor.
I'm very excited for the Funbearable episode where we do discuss the Airbnb thing.
I like that we.
You know what we've done? We've planted the seed.
We've planted a seed.
We planted a seed for a fun story about.
This is like Westworld season
Airbnb.
1, and it's going to conclude on another Funbearable episode.
We need to generate a cliffhanger.
Oh, I got to be Dolores, ready? So much splendor. She does that. Remember that?
A bug just landed on your face. You gotta kill the bug.
Ready? Hold on. That's the bug.
You do Dead Eyes so good.
You like it?
So good.
Why? The bug went up there because it was like, oh, let me find a safe place.
Yeah.
A safe, soft place to sit. Oh,
It's so soft.
squishy.
It's like sleeping on
It's
a
like
cloud.
a water bed.
Yeah. You got to get to
Sometimes-
Fontanelle.
Sometimes the world is full of so much splendor. I can't even take it.
You know what? I don't like it anymore because I feel like we're doing a thing that's not okay.
Well, I'm Dolores.
I know, but I feel like this is like, look, Ben Stiller can do it. But I don't think Chuck Staten could do it.
All right, folks, thank you all so much for
Thank you.
joining us on this episode of Funbearable. If you want to get in contact with us, please feel free to do so. Funbearablepod@gmail.com or through any and all socials @funbearablepod. We're happy to release episodes. We got a bunch of good ones coming up. Get
also-
excited. Plus, that Airbnb story.
At some point. And also, if you have any issues with any Navy, reach out to me. I can see what I can do. I'll get a hold of Commander Kelly.
Yep.
So if you are in some sort of skirmish,
Yeah, if there's a maritime disaster,
in any sea, ocean, lake, or river, maybe a bay, let me know. If you happen to get in trouble regionally around like the Rhode Island area, I think you reach out to Chuck. And then also, finally, I will say, anyone that wants to can email us at funbearablepod@gmail.com for a get out of another episode free card.
yes.
So if you listened all the way to here in
Thank
this
you.
episode, you can redeem this moment right now. So the catchphrase, the code, the password,
Yeah.
for you to, because you have to get to this point in the
Yeah, to
episode.
know the password.
The password should be
Dead eyes.
Dead Eyes.
Yep.
I know what a good passphrase could be. It's me looking at a cell phone and going,
That's an image.
doesn't look like anything to me.
Oh, he's a robot.
Oh, he's a bot.
Yeah.
He's a bot.
Westworld bot.
Yeah.
So the passcode is, what is it again?
Dead Eyes.
Dead Eyes. You send an email with the passphrase code Dead Eyes, and we'll give you a get out of an episode free card.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to listen to another one, and we'll let you know right up front. We'll be like, guys, this is a time to cash in your time. Our guest today.
Sorry, our guest today. Huh? What does that mean? Abacus.
Beautiful. Well, for Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I am Brad Rohr saying thank you so much for checking us out, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
We really are.
Oh, so much.
Not me.